All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Welcome to the Ninja A-League Highlights Show. We started Control Cyber Pitch in Melbourne for City's midweek match against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Coach Michael Matriciani shifted Golden Boot leader Holly McNamara and Letitia McKenna to the bench to manage their workloads. As a result, Briley Henry and Alexia Postolakis came into the starting 11. For the Wanderers, who were chasing a third straight win, Holly Caspers was ruled out with an ACL injury, which she sustained in the Sydney Derby. Her place was taken by Alyssa Ungsard.
Eunice will take this corner for the Wanderers. It's gone to the back post, and it's gone all the way into the net off the unfortunate 18 Keane. The visiting Western Sydney Wanderers take the lead against Melbourne City, and it's come as the result of an own goal. Briley Henry. Henry's delivery has gone over Uchendu, but it's come out to Devon Jackson, who hits it high. Now the Kiwi international expected to hit the target there. And if Holly McNamara can be the player on the end of the balls, Letitia McKenna can often create them. Here's Stott shooting from distance. Just missing. I think the crowd thought for a moment like it had snuck in when they saw the net ripple. Matos now. Up to Yuan Kong. Inside the penalty area, Kong turns. Still Yuan Kong! Mirez got enough contact on it to send it behind for a corner. Well, this is the best opportunity of the second half so far. Against Hooks. Devon Jackson. Back to McNamara. Letitia McKenna thought about finding a shooting angle. Instead, Jackson. Great work from Devon Jackson. This is the target. Amy Harrison, the Wanderers captain, a little bit frustrated there that she was able to find the chance to shoot. That's just good work, though. And they have done it. The Ninja A-League continues to throw up surprises. Bottom of the table, Western Sydney Wanderers have defeated top of the table, Melbourne City. Full time in Melbourne, it is Melbourne City 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 1.
At Leichhardt Oval, Sydney FC started a new era after the midweek departure of Ante Juric, who won 6 major trophies in 8.5 seasons at the Sky Blues. Interim coach James Slaveski made 3 changes to the team that lost to the Wanderers in the Sydney Derby. In came goalkeeper Heather Hinz, Amber Lukmeyer and Mackenzie Hawkesby, who was restored as captain. Their opponents, Brisbane Roar, were forced to make 2 changes. Matilda's winger Sian Fryer succumbed to a knee injury in their 2-2 draw against the Mariners, and defender Leah Varley transferred to a club in Germany. Kira Myers and Ava Piazza were their replacements.
Madison Asen, back to Heather Hinz. Willa Pearson, caught in possession, and Sydney FC could be made to pay! Daisy Brown has scored in 3 games in a row. And she's the beneficiary here of some good hustle from Betty Janssen. And it's a muted celebration. Janssen, little back heel. Medwin volleys it on. Brown able to wrestle clear of Pearson, cuts it back. Janssen, red alert for the Sydney defence here. Betty Janssen! There were 2 Sydney players there, but the one Brisbane Roar player was Momo Hayashi. Through comes Lowry now. Lowry! And that one will count. Sydney get their equaliser. And it is a first goal for Sydney FC for Hannah Lowry. Janssen. Now Seidel. Drops it at the edge of the 6-yard box and a flick header from Miller. And that is the form that has made Heather Hinz such an outstanding goalkeeper. Beyond the far post it goes, and it's 2 for the Raw. Momo Hayashi. And the captain, with her first goal of the season, takes this game to halftime with the Brisbane Roar in front. Woods. Hayashi! Just kept rising. Momo could have had a second. Stevenson here goes to work, veering central. Hayashi loves a long shot. Hayashi! Momo spectacular! And Raw have a 2-goal buffer. It's Momo's night. Brisbane Raw go up to second in the Ninja A-League. And a wide open title race has the Raw firmly in it. They win away to Sydney FC for the first time in almost 5 years for Sydney FC. The first game after the exit of Ante Juric ends in defeat, and they remain bottom of the league. Sydney FC 1, Brisbane Raw 3.
To round 16, which began in Wellington for the visit of Perth Glory on Waitangi Day, New Zealand's national holiday. A win for the home side would elevate them to the top of the table for the first time in club history. Coach Bev Priestman made one change to the team that routed the Jets 5-1, with Lara Wall starting at left back in place of Mania Elliott, who returned to the bench. Stephen Peters, meanwhile, made 2 changes to the Glory team that was held to a scoreless draw at home by Sydney FC. Tian McKenna returned from injury and Nat Tatham was promoted from the bench.
Into the feet of Leon, it's a good turn. She starts to bear down on goal. Squares across, it's Woods, assists the goal. Good save, Morrissey. Unselfish from Lucia Leon to square across for the run of Woods. Good goalkeeping to come out and close the angle early. Johnston. Links with True, and she's inside. Vandermeer put that down as a chance in the first for Perth. Is this the moment? Header on target. Vandermeer, she scored the last time out at Sky Stadium. These games can just change in the blink of an eye. And maybe Lucia Leon, or is it Michaela Woods? Here's a big chance, Woods! And there's the opener. It was a game that was crying out for a moment. Woods picks the pocket and rolls it home. The Yellow Fever have something to celebrate going into half-time. He is cleared eventually back to Elliott, who links up with Vlock. Well, it was just teasing, looking for a touch. It's not cleared yet. Goalkeeper with a good punch. Under a lot of pressure, right underneath their own crossbar, Morrissey. Good feet by Vlock. Well, an ambitious attempt there. This will be an interesting replay, Rosie.
Block again. I think this is just a really well-weighted ball into the back post. Grace Jale, I wonder why she didn't just go for goal on that one. She's trying to just knock it back across.
Well, that is a delightful ball as well for Woods, who flashes a shot past the upright. Well, again, you can't sleep on this match. You just need a moment. And the game bursts into life as it does there.
That is all it takes.
So critical is that off-field support. We only see the 90 minutes week to week. As Jale off the crossbar. Still shaking behind Teresa Morrissey. Well, that was a big moment for Jale. Scored an absolute screamer in this fixture last year. And for the first time in the club's history, the Wellington Phoenix go top of the Ninja A-League. Stephen Peters congratulates Bev Priestman. 3 points for the home team, courtesy of Michaela Woods' stoppage time goal in the first half. Full time here at Sky Stadium. Wellington Phoenix 1, Perth Glory 0.
Melbourne Victory took their home game against the Newcastle Jets to Shepparton in country Victoria, hoping to break a 6-game winless run. Victory coach Jeff Hopkins made wholesale changes with Chelsea Blissett, Ella O'Grady and Rihanna Polisina all listed in the run-on side, as regular starters Alana Janchevsky, Holly Furphy and Sienna Saveska dropped back to the bench. Jets coach Stephen Hoyle made 2 changes to the team that lost to Wellington last time out. Charlotte Lancaster and Alexis Collins were given the nod ahead of Libby Copus-Brown and Josie Wilson, who moved to the bench. Natasha Pryor wore the captain's armband after Cass Davis was unavailable with a foot injury.
Promising early signs from Newcastle, looking really positive, and that's clever. A chance on goal, and quick reaction from Newbont to deny, I believe it was Alexis Collins, just losing her footing. Able to regain it and takes a beautiful strike. And well saved from Newbont, but adventurous from Josie Allen. Now Melbourne Victory there, applying that kind of press. Sakalis looping off the crossbar. Needs to be mindful, Bates. That is a fantastic effort from Sophia Sakalis. To the near post and fizzing across and into the net. Alana Janchevsky, immediate impact. That ball was to the near post and just bounced and dribbled its way into the net. Melbourne Victory have the reward after all that. So Jeff, why did you put me on the bench?
And a great impact there by Janchevsky.
Dundas slipping through the back heel. Can they get a shirt there first? It was Josie Allen. They've won a penalty. Looking at that, Kath, what do you make of that?
I'm not sure if that's a penalty there. You can see Josie Allen comes flying in and puts her body on the line there, but I don't think she's denying a goal-scoring opportunity there.
It's Callie Brown. Can she level this game up and get Newcastle back into it? She certainly can. Puts it into that top corner. Make of the penalty decision what you will, but Newcastle back level with Melbourne Victory. Cool, calm and collected from Callie Brown. End to end, and that effort finds the way and finds the net. What an effort. All Newcastle could do was stand and watch Melbourne Victory, the all-important 3 points. They've waited a long time to get that, and it was the substitutes who delivered. Away in Shepparton, and here's Melbourne Victory 2, Newcastle Jets 1.
Sydney FC returned to Leichhardt Oval 4 days after their loss to Brisbane to face 4th-placed Canberra United. And Tony Jagaranek named an unchanged starting 11 from the team that defeated Melbourne Victory in their last outing. James Slaveski made 5 changes with Ruby Sullivan, Bianca Galich, Jodie Ulkekel, Kaylee Talon-Henniker and Claire Corbett all included in the run-on side as the Sky Blues were desperate to break a 10-game winless run.
So Hawkins playing it out. Grove continuing that run. It might fall nicely here for Hayley Taylor-Young. Cutting it across. Grove finding herself in the box once again. A great save. Good header hands. Sasha Grove, she's everywhere. Played out wide. Taylor-Young able to chase it down. A touch bringing her a little bit further inside. That's a good cross. Just too tall, but a fall to Sasha Grove, who takes a strike and takes a deflection as well. They're putting early pressure on Canberra United.
And that was a quality ball. And then Sasha Grove following up on that far post.
Getting a lot of distance on their clearances, Sydney, at the moment. So Canberra able to recycle and continue, and Grove and Heyman linking up. Seen that so many times this season. Cutting it back across, and Gordon, a free shot on goal. And the cartwheels are coming out. Fantastically worked by Canberra United. They've been applying the pressure early in this game, and Gordon all by herself on that far side, able to beat the Sydney defence. Hawkesby
James has to be mindful, and she miscues it. Oh, Sally James has just mistimed it. Sydney FC, just like that, back in this game. Heyman might be out here, and she's dragged back. Now this will be an interesting call, and it's a red card, a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity from Kirsty Fenton. It's the second game in a row a red card has been awarded to an opposition side against Canberra United. Melbourne victory, Newcastle game yesterday. Jeff Hopkins made the decision to drop Holly Furphy and Alana Janczewski, and they both came on and scored some important goals. Well, Janczewski's goal was taken away, and there's the net! And a great finish! Mary Stanic-Floody up against her former side.
And now it's just that final piece of the puzzle.
Dale able to take a touch away. What's the decision going to be here? And it's going, I believe, to the penalty spot. Saved by Hintz. But the woodwork may have been there, part of it as well. Mary Stanic-Floody's goal is what separates the two sides. The former Sydney FC player. They had to dig in Canberra United, but at full time here at Leichhardt Oval, it's Sydney FC 1, Canberra United 2.
Melbourne City and Brisbane Roar also backed up from midweek matches, going head-to-head at Control Cyber Pitch on Sunday. After losing to the Wanderers, City made two changes, with Letitia McKenna and Holly McNamara returning to the starting 11, as Carly Rostbacken and Chinazi Uchendu dropped back to the bench. Brisbane made one change to the team that defeated Sydney midweek, with Kaya Stevenson coming in for Bente Janssen, as the Dutch midfielder was listed on the bench.
She's going to leave this for the right-footed Woods. Looking for Hayashi, first header, and Mirez has bobbled it. It's free in the box. Medwin cuts it back. Stevenson! The Raw get their goal! They have started fast at Control Cyber Pitch. Hayashi seizes on the ball. Are the Raw going to go again? Is Stevenson going to go again? Kaya Stevenson is having a day out, and it's a disaster class from Melbourne City. Corner to the back post, and McNamara is foiled by Lincoln, and up and under and in. Rebecca Stott gets a goal back, and Melbourne City have halved the deficit. And Brisbane Roar's inability to keep clean sheets means that Melbourne City will be believing. Medwin. Blocked clearance. McMahon. Jackson. And now Briley Henry on for Holly McNamara. McNamara around the keeper and in. 2-2. Melbourne City have cancelled out the deficit before half-time. Daniel Turner, long ball. McNamara running at Piazza. Has got support from Henry. McNamara now finds Henry. Henry steadies, cuts onto her left and scores! Melbourne City have come back from 2-0 down to lead. And Briley Henry's first goal of the Ninja A-League season could be all important. Over to the left flank, Keane takes on Studer here. Studer, you see the grabbing and grappling. Keane continues. 18 Keane, foiled by Lincoln, but the follow-up from Jackson makes it 4-2 to Melbourne City. And after being 2 goals down, Melbourne City have themselves a 2-goal buffer.
Wow.
McMahon. Stott, back to Shelby McMahon. And now 18 Keane, shot on the turn, blocked immediately, second chance, and it is 5. And it is fitting reward for 18 Keane, who has been sensational in this second half. And she's looking for some fans to celebrate with. Well, she finds one and he's caged behind the fence. A big statement from Melbourne City. 2-0 down, but powering back with 5 different goal scorers to win 5-2. And they've gone from panic stations to top of the league, from 4th to 1st over the course of a wild afternoon. Full time then, Melbourne City 5, Brisbane Roar 2.
Finally at Football Park, the Wanderers welcomed Adelaide United to Sydney's West. Chasing a 4th straight win, Jeff Abrahams made 2 changes to the starting 11 that defeated Melbourne City. Millie Bennett and Alana Cern replaced Ying Wang and Ella Buchanan. The Reds, who defeated the Wanderers 5-2 earlier in the season, were unchanged from their last start win, also against Melbourne City.
Hodgson darts up the eyes. Healy the target, works on the follow-up, and the Wanderers clear it off the line, or did they? That's the question Adelaide United are asking. No whistle arrives. Desperate defending to save the day for the hosts. Kong. Clever stuff from the Chinese international. Yuan Kong driving forward. A huge chance for the Wanderers. Blazed away by Yuan Kong. Now that is their best patch of attacking play for the evening. Morgan punching it to Matilda McNamara. It's McNamara! It's off the post and in for an own goal. The Reds find the breakthrough on the road. Danica Matos, the unfortunate party who turns it in to her own net, but Adelaide United will take it. And the endeavour of Matilda McNamara. Talia Eunice exact from the dead ball. It's a little bit shallow. It'll sit up for Unsad. Oh, what a save from Ilona Melag. Top draw to deny a superb strike. Adelaide United get the job done on the road. And it is 9 wins on the spin against the Wanderers for the Reds. The full-time score is Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Adelaide United 1.
Melbourne City maintains a 2-point buffer at the top of the ladder, courtesy of that comeback win against Brisbane. Wellington and Canberra are next, while the Roar, Victory and Adelaide United round out the top 6. At the bottom, Sydney FC are now 3 points adrift after recording their 7th loss of the season. Join us again next week for round 17 action from the Ninja A-League, headlined by the Melbourne Derby at the home of the Matildas. Until then, it's goodbye.